Famous Wilton Candy Kitchen. It's an honor to be here. You know, I came today for an ice cream social, and it turns out there's a bill signing ceremony today. And it's a pretty special one at that. So let me just start out by saying thank you to some really important folks that helped us get to this final product that is the Empower Rural Iowa Act. And I think it's first very important to say thanks to the Iowa Rural Development Council. And there are so many pieces of that group, so many members that we could identify. But Sandy Eric, of course, is very important. And Rand Fisher and Bill Minner and everybody on the team. Will you all please join me in giving a round of applause for the Rural Development Council? This truly couldn't have happened without that partnership, and we appreciate all that you have done. To the task force members of the Governor's Empower Rural Iowa Initiative, thank you. You know, I often say one of the very special things about the state of Iowa is that you can truly make a difference here if you decide you want to. And I hope you feel that way about the work of the task force and how we were able to turn your ideas and recommendations into a bill. And so we're very thankful for your help. So will you join me in saying thank you to the task force members as well. This all started back in July with the signing of Executive Order number 3. And following the creation of the Governor's Empower Rural Iowa Initiative, the 3 newly amended task forces got to work. We held idea summits all across the state, and we effectively crowdsourced solutions from the people of Iowa on some of the most important practical issues that rural Iowa faces, things like housing and broadband connectivity and leadership in our communities. And we used those ideas and developed the recommendations for the governor, which she used as the basis of the Empower Rural Iowa Act, which she's taking action on today. Moving through the legislative session, the Empower Rural Iowa Act found broad bipartisan support, and it was helped along the way with an Empower Rural Iowa Day on the Hill. And at the end of all this, we ended up with unanimous support out of both chambers. So both parties, urban and rural legislators, were able to come together on this, and I think that deserves a round of applause as well. While today's bill signing represents the culmination of the work of the task forces, you know we're not finished. As we always say, we're not at the finish line, we're just approaching the starting line with this. So thrilled to continue the work going forward, and I'll just close by saying, as I mentioned in my inaugural address back in January, as long as Governor Reynolds and I are around, we're going to keep fighting for rural prosperity, and today is just another step on that journey. So with that, let me turn it over to the real star today, Governor Reynolds. She's a true champion for rural Iowa. Someone who grew up in the small town of St. Charles and whose passion for rural Iowa is known far and wide. You know, I was thinking it's hard to come up with a better rural Iowa success story than Kim Reynolds. A small town girl who served her community as county treasurer and then state senator and then lieutenant governor and now governor. So with that, will you all please join me in welcoming to the podium our great governor, Kim Reynolds.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Governor. And I can't think of a better Lieutenant Governor and partner to serve alongside me, and I appreciate your passion and dedication to really helping us get this done and leading this effort. And I cannot think of a better place for today's bill signing than the Wilton Candy Kitchen. I mean, this fantastic backdrop is remarkable for another day in the story of Iowa. Lynn, where is he? Where is he? Where did he go? There he is. Okay. Thank you for hosting us. I appreciate it so much. Here's the good news. The Napolis family legacy is in excellent hands with you and your team. So for generations, this Candy Kitchen has been a favorite stop, not only for visitors, but regulars alike, and it's a nostalgic step back in time with a sweet treat to savor. This iconic Iowa business really embodies the small town character that we're famous for, and it is the perfect example of why we should do everything we can to preserve, grow, and strengthen our small town way of life. And that's really what the Empower Rural Iowa bill is all about. And what I love, Adam talked about the process, and what this process has been is a community doing everything they can to focus on helping communities. From river to river and border to border, Iowa is speckled with vibrant communities like Wilton, each with its own character and its own story to tell. And I did talk to Jeff Kaufman before I came here, and I probably would love to share some of the stories that he shared with me about what this town, but I better not. No. The unique communities really are, this is one of the reasons that it motivates thousands to ride their bikes from Missouri to the Mississippi each year. They're what gives Iowa its character and tells our story to the outside world. And by signing House File 772, we're helping passionate local leaders connect, invest, and grow their communities, and really helping them tap into the uniqueness that will make their small towns as vibrant as they've ever been. So today, we take the recommendations of the task force and we put them into action. Connected communities are fundamental to all aspects of growth and prosperity, and essential to keep our young people and attract others to rural Iowa. So House File 772 ensures every part of Iowa is connected and has the same opportunities to harness the power of the internet. So the bill updates the existing grant program, so it makes some changes there, and then we're going to be able to, in another appropriation bill, leverage $5 million with private sector investment to continue to expand connectivity all across the state. And let me say again, we're just getting started when it comes to that. I told them we'll take 5, but we're coming back for more next year so we can continue to grow and expand and be the most connected state in the country. And as you've heard the team mention over and over, we also know that we can't grow in rural Iowa, we can't thrive if we don't have access to housing. We have jobs that are available all over this state, but we can't fill the jobs if there's not a place to call home. So this bill, the Empower Rural Iowa bill, doubles the rural set aside in workforce housing tax credits, and for the first year, the full $25 million will go to clear the current backlog for rural projects. And it also changes the process to from a first come, first serve to a competitive bid grant process. And that'll really help us move shovel-ready projects so that we can get more housing in rural communities all across the state. And also the funding for housing bill assessments is in another appropriation bill as well. So that's another aspect of what the task force worked on. And we've already started the process of creating a Center for Rural Revitalization in the Iowa Economic Development Authority. And of course, it will focus on making rural Iowa an even greater priority. It'll serve as an information conduit that'll connect rural communities and leaders to programming and resources. We'll soon be hiring the executive director. And another part of in another budget bill is some funding for rural innovation grants. So almost everything you guys talked about, we were able to get through with this phenomenal legislature. You know, it's also important to note that in this bill, it also contains a special allocation of workforce housing tax credits as part of the flood recovery. So in the areas where individual assistance has been made available by the presidential disaster declarations, workforce housing tax credits are also an option. And that's just one more way that we're helping those that have been affected by the floods and those communities rebuild even stronger than ever. So there's a renaissance underway in small towns across our state, and it's fueled by hardworking local leaders like Lynn, who adapt with the times and think differently. And each of the action areas with House File 772 are just the beginning of our effort to continue empowering rural Iowa. So before I sign the bill, I too want to just say a very, very, very special thank you to the Lieutenant Governor and Sandy for co-chairing. I said, you know, originally, man, we got the dream team when we got the two of you. And I appreciate your leadership and your passion, and I see it every time I get to hook up with the both of you. So thank you for really helping drive this initiative. And to the members of the task force and for everybody out there, we have just a whole bunch of them right here joining us today. So thank you for being here, and I appreciate your hard work and your commitment. And it was really a short timeline, so you guys really dug in and came up with some great actionable items that we were able to really work with the legislature and get done. So I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with next, okay? And to the Iowa Rural Development Council, thanks for giving us an unbelievable foundation to start from. And we love and are looking forward to the continued partnership with you as well. And to the legislators that are joining us today, thank you. I love it when I get to sign a bill that passes unanimously. So I appreciate all your work. We know how to do it in Iowa. The floor managers were Senator Feenstra and Representative Carlson, And I just want to thank you. We sat down, you worked with Kayla, you worked with the team, and I can remember early on you said, we're going to get this done, and thank you for helping us get this done, and all of you that are here. We appreciate it very much. So now I think it's time to empower rural Iowa.